Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay in time. We initially had the call for 5 a.m., but Charles just got caught somewhere because we're in the different time zone. So it's just very hard to get a right timing right. So, hey everyone, my name is Sanjeev and I'm the owner of this page. And on this page, I normally talk about YouTube automation. And today I have got a very special guest with me. He's a client of mine and he's from the States, but I won't say his name because he's going to introduce it to you himself. So without further ado, why don't you take the stage and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. Thanks for having me. Sorry for the time mix-up, but my name's Charles Bates, and as far as YouTube automation is concerned, I've been involved for about 6 months in total. You know, I really had no background in YouTube automation, video production, and all the rest. So about 6 months ago, I got involved through a different service. Educational, I guess you could call it an educational program. Is it okay to mention the name of it, or should we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was like through Ryan HILDRETH, and so it basically covers the basics of getting a channel started and monetized, and choosing niches and so on. So I started, you know, just to keep it brief, I started a few channels. Started with one, and then started a second one and was trying to make both of them, you know, reasonably successful within 60 days. Which, you know, I had mixed results at first. You know, keeping a team on board, keeping a team hired, having quality videos produced, and then avoiding all the pitfalls of copyright infringement and making sure you stay above board. And all that stuff. So it was kind of like low CPM niches at first, not really gaining traction. You know, took maybe 4 months before I started getting traction. And then I kind of ran into some trouble with, you know, some copyright issues that I had to resolve. So anyhow, Sanjeev was a part of the group, and he was obviously successful with it because he would share his results all the time, which were just amazing. Like his results were like far and above anybody else, you know, in the group, the Facebook group. So he was offering he had channels that he was selling monetized channels and things like that, offering services. So I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I'm in. You know, if you want to sell me a channel, I'm in on it." And so ever since we did that approximately 6 weeks ago, and I'm at least break even at this point after 6 weeks, and it's, you know, it's probably going to be profitable heading into next month, and then the sky is the limit from there.
Yeah, all good.
So that's a bit of an intro.
Yeah, all good. Thanks for sharing, Charles. What's your background? Like, what do you do for your career? For your work.
My primary career, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, so my full-time career is in that field. And YouTube automation is something that I wanted as an additional revenue producing, more passive activity is the ultimate goal. And so, and then I had, you know, potential plans to do that professionally as well with the profession that I'm in. But what I'm doing now with YouTube automation has more to do with niches such as motivation, luxury in the past. So it doesn't necessarily all have to be within my primary professional field.
No, it's good. So in terms of what was the driving force that got you to YouTube automation? Like during the crisis, the global pandemic, did you get affected with your clinic, and why did you actually decide to do online business? Because I know you as a chiropractor, you might be successful with that business model. So why did you decide to do YouTube?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, like I'm employed, so I have an employer that I work for. So we actually, I stayed employed, during the pandemic. So fortunately, I wasn't really affected much. In fact, I worked throughout it. But that said, everybody needs to make extra income these days. Expenses, even basic living expenses, aren't getting any cheaper. And the driving force was, I want to at least have a better retirement. 10, 15 years down the line. I need to save money for my children's education, things of that nature. So beyond my salary, I needed that additional revenue that was more passive, so that I could still focus on career. And this is definitely that. It takes a little bit of involvement, but it's really not much more than a few hours a week.
No, it's good. So it doesn't actually affect whatever you're doing now. You can maybe how much time you devoting to this business model currently?
I mean, because the service you provide is so great with the video production and so on. The time I spend is focused on developing a good, through the thumbnail design, making sure that the keywords and titles, and making sure those are low competition and high volume. So most of my time I spend on a video, it's looking, researching to make sure the title is as good as I can make it. Like what are the best keywords that are low competition and high volume. So I can just focus my time there to make the videos more successful once they're uploaded. So maybe, it might be maybe up to 4 hours a week, but it's really not
much.
too expensive. No.
Yes, it's good. So do you require video? The scriptwriter, voiceover, and all that with what you're doing now currently?
With your channels that we're working together on?
Yes.
Currently, actually, I don't really have to do much in the way of script editing or script writing. I don't have to focus so much on keeping the team focused. My role is just making sure I'm uploading videos each week, and that I've got the thumbnails and the keywords nailed down. And so it really is low time-wise. It's really not it's not a huge commitment.
So it's not taking too much of your time. That's good to know. What has been your biggest struggle in terms of YouTube? Because I know there's a lot of advantages, but people actually don't talk about the struggles. What struggles have you had before to the struggles now?
Yeah, well, I think previously the biggest struggles had a lot to do with making sure your team is producing videos on time. Like I've hired a number of video editors. For example, I think I've had it was actually 4 different editors at one time working on 2 different channels, and trying to keep videos in production, making sure we upload 4 every week. And it's really time intensive to make sure your teams, and then on top of that, I have to do the quality assurance and make sure that copyright is not infringed. And so that was the struggle. Like I ran into a few issues with the copyright infringement, and then trying to get it resolved through YouTube, and worrying about, well, I hope my channel doesn't get demonetized and kicked off of YouTube, so those are the struggles that when you're trying to produce a good volume of content, you have to really, you have to stay on top of it. So
no, it totally makes sense what you're talking about. And why when and why did you decide to work with me? Like I know you were in the program, but why did you pivot from that to what you're doing now?
I just felt like I had gone through about 4 or 5, I think it was like almost 5 months of struggles, trying to get the channels profitable and really not getting anywhere from a revenue standpoint.
Yep.
And then running into issues, and then just seeing what you share in the group, it's obvious you're successful with it. So it's like, well, I'm going to go to what works, So what caused me to pivot was I need to change directions, because the channel I'm dealing with right now is really a struggle. And I'm spending a lot of money and time and energy over 5 months, and it's not producing.
Yeah.
So, I trusted that your success was real, because you'd been there over at least the same length of time I was. And every day, every week, you're posting successful breakthroughs in your channels, and the sheer volume of your channels and the revenue, the massive revenue that you're sharing with us. So it's just, that's what made sense to me, that it made sense. I'll purchase a channel, and basically you'll manage a lot of the teamwork stuff. I just have to be focused on making sure I upload and I keep my keywords and thumbnails fresh. And that's really it.
Yeah. Right. Totally makes sense. Can you share a bit of story what happened with the channel that you first got? I think we had some sort of issues regarding we lost access to the channel, and then
do
you want to share a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it seems like it was forever ago, because it was like right when I purchased the channel, and then you said, okay, I'm going to get all the things set up, teamwork set up, the team to develop videos, monetize channel set up. You're going to optimize it and all that. And then you said, I'm going to reach out to you, and I'll send you the link, and you'll log in. And so we did that, and everything went smooth. I connected it to my channel. And then suddenly it disappeared. Like the whole thing disappeared. Like I was like, oh my God. I was thinking, oh great, I hope this isn't some scam or something. And I'm like, no, it can't be, And then I just said, well, it just simply disappeared. I wasn't panicking yet, and then you assured me that we'll fix it. And it took a lot of time on your part, from what I understand, to get it straight. Because something happened where I don't know what happened actually. The channel was deleted or something.
Yeah, so even I couldn't actually access the channel, because it's just weird. Because normally what I do is I set up a channel, I send you the invite, and then I give all the access. But I think something happened, because nothing goes according to plan most of the time. So I had to send multiple emails to YouTube. I had to reach out to them on Twitter, and then it just I probably didn't sleep the whole night just trying to figure out, because it hasn't happened to any of my channel, and it's just weird. And then I think after 2 days, I think that's when you messaged me saying I got the access. So it was just
I logged in again, and it worked the second time around. So
strange.
So but it got resolved. It wasn't the end of the world.
Nah, it's all good, all good. And what's your final goal and vision with this YouTube automation business model? What are you planning to do?
I'm excited about it, because I'll tell you, like, now that it's about to be profitable, I can easily see scaling up, a few more channels. And, that's the way I want to go, because I have already don't spend that much time. So I easily have more time to spend on another channel or two. And I also have a personal channel I want to launch, which it has enough hours of view time and subscribers. I'm just waiting. I'm not launching anything yet. In the next couple months, and that won't cost much on my end, because I'm producing most of it on my own. But it'll require a little bit of my time.
of
So
course. It won't be that automated as this one. So, but
yeah,
it's like a personal brand channel. So,
correct. So that's good. And then I also want to continue with you as well and scale additional channels.
yeah, of course, of course. So if one channel is working, I'd say just, keep building momentum on the other ones
Yep.
as well, same time.
And I'm
We got,
hoping to learn a ton
yeah,
more about. I certainly feel like I'm still beginning, because I'll develop titles and keywords, and sometimes they won't hit, and it's
yep,
like, well, maybe it's the combination of words or names in the title. You just play around,
yep,
and but one thing I noticed though, the harder you focus on it, like on your keyword search, like using vidIQ and other things, the
yep.
more you tend to get a better result. You just put that extra
Okay,
time in. So
okay. Using the provision with IQ.
um I'm not sure if it's pro, but it's not the basic either.
Okay,
So because
must
it
be the
has the
boot.
additional features, where it'll give you the rankings and suggested keywords, and
Okay,
yeah. So I actually don't know if it's the pro version, but
might be because if you're seeing multiple keywords, it might be the provision.
yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
signed up for that a long time ago with the other channels.
Okay.
So
You probably forgot about it. It's still monthly cutting from your account.
yeah, but I definitely use it.
No, it's worth it. I'd say.
Yep,
What you're paying, I think $9 or $10 a month.
yep,
It's nothing. So
exactly.
we got Razna is in the house. Razna, hello, how are you? She's always active on Facebook, and I think Razna will see success very very soon. She's asking, what did you do differently on the channel you bought compared to your own one? Did you also use Microworkers? She's asking.
Yeah, definitely. Microworkers, first of all, I'm still using it when I upload a video. So
Yep.
right at the moment I go public, I send 35 workers to it.
Yep.
Depending on the performance, I might send a few more like later on.
Yeah.
So it definitely that's a good. I think that's a good strategy for a new channel.
Yeah.
And I'd say other than that, the only thing that I'm doing differently is I'm not spending as much of my time um, managing a team.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with Sanjeev and just make sure that I'm, paying for the next week's upload so that I can be ahead of the game. That's the
Yep.
key. Don't get behind.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just sharing with Charles. I might lower his cost, so that way he can get profitable soon.
Yeah, for
But
sure. Yeah.
it's great. It's like it probably start to break even. So
Mm-hmm.
it's about time that you're gonna get that boost in views in maybe one of the video that your challenge is already in the algorithm, and what's it's
Yep.
already been like probably it got in the algorithm probably the first video we uploaded, right? So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was like the first week. It was crazy. I
yeah,
can't remember, but I think there was a couple thousand views
yeah,
in the first week. And then the
yeah,
second week, I had a video hit like 6,000
yeah.
views, and I've had a couple since then. And now,
What?
obviously we hope and expect for more, as the channel grows. And I think
Yes.
there's one thing with this channel too, that since I've been working with you, there seems to be more organic subscribers. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that nothing like the other channels. You get organic subscribers more easily. And
Yeah.
another thing is the what do you call that? The view time. It's
Average view duration.
yeah, the view duration. Sorry. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
view duration is definitely higher on average,
Yep.
like above 40% most of the time,
That's good. Yeah.
which is crazy. Before it's like if you get 30%, you're happy,
Yeah.
but these are above that. So
No, it's good.
everything you said in the group is exactly true, like about
Yeah.
you have to have videos that engage the viewers to keep them in the video long enough.
Yeah, of course. So, but what will you say about people who's thinking about saturation on YouTube? Is there any sort of saturation?
I suppose if you're just doing the same thing, like if you're trying to compete with these big channels and you're just doing, you know, basically the same. But if you're not producing at least something original about the video, then you're really not in the game. But even if there's a saturated niche, if your content is comparable to a bunch of, let's say there's a bunch of smaller, you always say this, like there's a bunch of other small channels competing, and they're getting a lot of views, but they're new channels, like they have like less than 2,000 subscribers or whatever. You know, you can hit that sweet spot. So I suppose there's probably not an oversaturation unless you're just not putting your time in and doing the research, you know.
Of course. Now Razna, he's not thinking about video ideas. We're doing everything for him, so it's pretty hands off, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know, and it's not that I mean, I'll work. It's just that if it's not producing anything, you know, I'm not, you know, sometimes they'll say, you know, do it at least 6 to 8 months before you, but you know, the one I was working on, it was just like an endless money pit, you know, and it was just a liability. So, you know, that's why I changed directions. So
no, it's good. It's good to be working with Charles, and I'll see Charles is very he takes his time. He has his own way of doing things, so it's good, and it's actually working for him. And I'm hoping to start maybe multiple channels for him, so you know, he can get that. He just continue what's he doing and just scaling it from there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Any final words, Charles, would you like to share with the audience, whoever was watching, who's actually thinking about YouTube automation? What will you tell them?
I would say, you know, is if you have it in your budget to start one channel, do it. You know, don't hesitate. Especially if you're speaking of if they're thinking of working with you as well, Sanjeev.
You can share. You can share, yeah, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, find a mentor, you know, somebody that's done it, that knows what they're doing. That's important. And then once you've found that and you're sure of it, then, and you have a budget for a single channel, work hard on that one channel. That's my advice. And just be patient. You know, don't expect, you know, $1 million in the first 2 months. You know, you have to stick with it for a while. But you know, the goal is to break even in the first month or two, and then after that, scale it up from there and rinse and repeat.
That's the formula.
That's right.
Thank you, Charles, for taking out the time. I know it's early morning here. It's what, 3 p.m. there, I believe. So
no, it's actually about 5:30 p.m.
Okay, great
Eastern.
So great to speak to you, and I cannot you know, take your other channels to success as well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you everyone for joining. If you have any comment, please leave in the comment or reach out to me or even Charles. You can reach out to him if it's okay with you, Charles.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, any way I can help.
All good. Thanks a lot, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.